I'm just gonna make this quick video. There's a impeachment, a false impeachment thing that's going on right now towards Trump, because the Democrats and the establishment, probably on the right too, they want to get him out of office because he's doing everything right. Well, maybe not everything, but Donald Trump is basically the one person who has almost no clue what the hell he's doing, but he knows just enough to make a mess out of everything. And that's amazing. Because I gotta say, the last two, three presidents, every president that I've ever had in my lifetime, at least the ones that I can remember, I remember being shit. They were all shit. Barack Obama was a piece of shit. Bush obviously was a piece of shit. Um, I don't really remember that much about Bill Clinton. I actually do remember him being a good president, but at the same time, I don't really know because that was in the 90s, and by that time, I wasn't really paying attention to politics at all. The first time I actually got into politics was when I was a teenager, around 15 or 16 years old. And that was when George W. Bush was in power, and that's when I called myself a Democrat because I knew that he was a goddamn piece of shit, and he got us into an illegal war in the Middle East, and he's the one that basically started the whole shitstorm in the first place. When Barack Obama got in, well, he just made it even worse, which is why I say both of those presidents were shit. Um, so anyway, Donald Trump is about to be impeached because he did apparently some shady dealings in Ukraine. He withheld taxpayer money to Ukraine as though that's a bad thing in the first place because he wanted to investigate his opponent at the time, which is bullshit. Because the fact is that he didn't do anything wrong by this. He didn't even say, "Hey, I'm just gonna not give you money until you investigate my political opponent." He didn't do that. It wasn't any KGB conspiracy fucking bullshit. He just said, "Hey, could you, you know, like before he wasn't even before he was even president, he was like, "Hey, what's going on with this? I see that that Biden's son worked for a gas company, and he didn't really have any he didn't have any connections that would actually say that he was viable for that type of position. I mean, of course, I'm an engineer, and I'm a computer engineer, somewhat of a computer engineer, right? And I know about computers. If I didn't know about computers and I was a computer engineer, or if I was a CIO and I didn't know anything about managing technologists, I'd be a little bit concerned. People would be a little bit confused. How did you get into this position when you don't know anything about managing people? You don't know anything about computers. You don't know anything about infrastructure. You don't have any business things. Let's say you were originally unemployed, or maybe you were working as a cashier over at the Rite Aid. I mean, who's gonna say, "Oh, that's the guy that really should be in this position"? No, it's all bullshit. And the reason why his son was in that position in the first place is because Joe Biden said, "Hey, if you don't put my son in this position, I'm going to cut off your funding," which is exactly what they're accusing Donald Trump of. So they can't come up with any lie without actually coming up with what they did. All they do is fucking project. So they, instead of admitting fault, because they can't, because they're evil, sociopathic people, they just accuse their opponent of doing the same thing, right? And that's Donald Trump. And why again are they trying to get Donald Trump out is because he's actually following through with his promises. He's bumbling his way and doing a really good job of it, of fucking up the established order and bringing power back to the United States and getting us all out of all of these trade deals, which do not do any good for the people here in the United States. And that means, by the way, black folks, white folks, Hispanic folks, Asian folks, this is not about race, this is about nationalism. Anybody who thinks it's about race or white supremacy or something is completely fucking stupid. I'm sorry to say, but you're an idiot. Right? There's no racial supremacy in the United States. The United States is based off of an idea, not the fact that the people who came over here hundreds of years ago were white people. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, if you want to look at racist history, I mean, we're racist against black people, we're racist against Irish people, we're racist against anybody who wasn't English, Germans. And guess what? We're an American melting pot, and as much as, the people out there will say, oh, no, that's a lie. There's no melting pot. We're, white, whatever, bullshit, and everything else like that. Even with the white people, amongst the white people, we had racism. Even amongst, anybody. We had the Chinese Exclusion Act, I think. I mean, we've had so many problems in our past that had to do with tribalism. And guess what? We got past them. Of course we still have problems. We're always going to have problems because that's human nature, is to have certain people who have a strong in-group preference, and that's perfectly okay. It's annoying that people out there are still racist and everything else like that, but guess what? You can't do anything about it. You just say, hey, you're a racist? Okay, I'm not going to associate myself with you. Or if you are racist, associate yourself with them. I don't fucking care. I'm just not going to associate myself with you. But it's not about that. It's not about anything white supremacy or anything else like that. It's not because it's not because of Trump is a horrible, evil, racist, sexist, misogynist, whatever. Those are just the fucking bullshit excuses that they throw out like red meat to the social justice warriors that really give a shit about that stuff. You really think that Donald Trump is going to be a nice guy? Do you really think he's a nice man? Like, I don't know him personally, but at least from the stuff that I saw on his TV shows and everything else like that, before he became president, I fucking hate the man. He was an asshole, and he still is an asshole, but that's exactly what we need, is an asshole. Because the establishment doesn't give a shit about us, and it doesn't matter if he's doing this for profit or money, or, for his own ego. He's doing it. That's the thing. We need an asshole in power in order to be an asshole towards other assholes. He is America's asshole. So, as much as the other assholes would like to get our asshole out of there, guess what? It's not going to happen. Oh, and by the way, first reason why I started this video in the first place. You're not allowed to say what whistleblowers name is, even though it's probably sure that he didn't know what the hell was going on and made up some fucking bullshit lie, or heard the transcript or something that Donald Trump put out there, which had nothing to do with quid pro quo. His name is Eric Ciaramella. Yep, that's his name. So anytime anybody says, oh, you're not allowed to say it, I'm just going to say it. Eric Ciaramella. Very rolls off the tip of the tongue. Eric Ciaramella is the whistleblower, and Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.